Please mute your mics. Okay, so where did we stop in the last class? I was talking about collection API. We saw collection interface methods in the last class. So today we'll go through the collection class hierarchy. You know, as I told you people, the collection interface is the root interface of collection API. So there are two interfaces which extends collection interface. So for collection interface, there are two sub interfaces I can say. One is list interface, the other one is set interface. One is list interface, the other one is set interface. Okay. So list interface and set interface they both, I can say that they are sub interfaces of collection interface. These two interfaces, I can say that they represent two different types of collections. These two interfaces they represent two different types of collections. List interface represents one type of collection, set interface represents another type of collection. Okay, so the main difference between list type collections and set type collections is list interface it allows okay, let me mute everyone and also my, just a minute. So list interface, you will find that it allows duplicate elements, and always, that means list type collections, I can say that it allows duplicate elements, and in list type collections, the elements will be stored based on an index. For every element you'll have an index. In list type collections, for every element definitely you'll have an index. For each and every element there will be an index. For every element you'll have an index. Yes. For every element you'll have an index. Okay. Whereas set type collections, you'll find that it's a collection of unique elements. Set is a collection of unique elements, and you will find that set elements in the set type collections, they are not stored based on the index. Elements in the set type collections, they are not stored based on the index. Okay, so this is the major difference. List allows duplicates, set doesn't allow duplicates. Elements in the list, they're always based on the index. They're stored based on an index value. The set type elements, you won't find index for the set type of, so for set type collections, the elements of the set collection you'll not have indexes. Yeah. Okay, now we'll further discuss about list interface and its methods. So list interface, I said it extends collection interface, right? So you will find that here it list interface inherits the methods of the collection interface, and additionally you have methods in the list interface. Additionally, we got methods in the list interface. So let's examine those methods. Okay. So first of all, you see list interface. It extends collection interface, as I told you people, and it inherits all these methods. These are all the inherited methods from the collection interface. Additionally, so these are the methods which you will see in list interface. So these are the methods which we see in list. So first is get method. You know, get method, it takes index of an element. Okay, we can pass an index of an element. It will take an index and it returns the element which is at that particular index. Get method will help you people to read an element or to fetch an element which is at a specific index. That's it. Which is at a particular index, I can say. That is how read method works. Sorry, get method works. So let me show you people. let's say these are the elements. Let's say we have 4 elements. So the first element is at index 0. The first element which will add, by default it will be at index 0. The second element will be at index 1, third one at index 2, and the fourth one at index 3. Now if you want to fetch an element which is at index 1, then I'll do this. Names dot get past the index 1. Okay, just do this. Call the get method and pass the index of that particular element. Call the get method and pass the index of that particular element. Okay, so get method will simply return that element. What is that element? John. So we'll print it. That's it. So you got this element John. This way we can use get method to read an element. Next, we got set method. Set method is used to add an element at a specified index. Okay, yes, let me complete this method, then I'll explain it. Set method is used to add an element at a specified index, I can say. Set method is used to add an element at a specified index. So it takes 2 parameters. The first parameter is the index of the element. The second parameter is the element itself. The second parameter is that element itself here. Yes. Second parameter is the element. Yes. So let me do this. Names dot set, let's say index 1. Let's say Anil. So now this element will be added at index 1, but already there is an element at index 1. So what happens to that element? Already there is an element at index 1. So what happens to that element? Replaced. So that existing element will not be retained, so it will be replaced, right? Yes. So that existing element will not be retained, definitely it is replaced with this new element, so it is not retained. But set method will return that element. If you want, you can take it. Set method will return that element, that old element, and definitely it will replace that old element with this new element Anil. Yeah. So after adding that element, so we'll try to read the elements. So we have iterator here, right? Let's make use of it. So let me run this code. You see, John is missing. In place of John, we have Anil now. Yes. So, hope you people got it. Okay. Yes. Yes, Ganesh, tell me. So, what is your doubt? So, you see, retain all is very simple and straightforward. You see, now let's say we have these two collections. If I call the retain all method on the first collection, what happens? You say we are passing the second collection. Mainly, first we are using the first collection object reference to call the retain all method. So retain all method, what it does is, so it will first compare these two collections, and it will only retain the common elements in the first collection. Now, what are the common elements between these two collections? Harry, Raj, and Kumar. So they will be retained. So John is not common, so that element will not be retained in the first collection. So after calling this retain all method, so you can read the elements. No, you might have written the code, you might have done something wrong. Just check once. You see here, it displays these three elements here. Yes, that's it. Check once. So that John, which is not common between these two collections, is not displayed here. It is not retained. Okay. Next, we'll talk about add method. You see, this add method is different. It takes two parameters. This add method basically takes two parameters. You see, so the first parameter is the index of the element. The second parameter is the element itself. So add method is also used to add an element at a specified index. Add method is also used to add an element at a specified index. But you will find that add method will retain that existing element. If there is any element at that specified index already, it will retain that existing element. It will move it to the next index. So it will move it to the next index, I can say. Okay. Yes. So you see, I'll do this names dot add index value 1. Let's say Anil. So now what happens, you see, this time you'll find that the add method will add that element Anil at index 1, but all that this element John, it will be moved to the next index. What about Raj? Raj will be moved to next index, that is 3. Kumar will be moved to next index, and so on like that. So all the elements from index 1 will be moved to next indexes here. Okay, yes, that is what happens with add method here. So let me run this code. You see, so hope you people got it. So this is about add method. Next we have remove method. So this remove method, so you'll find that already we have a remove method in the collection interface also, right? So how this remove method is different from that remove method which we saw in the collection interface? How this remove method is different from the remove method which we saw in the collection interface? You think about it. Just I'll mute my mic for 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So in collection interface it will check for common element and it will be removed. Okay. No. Actually, the main difference is the remove method will take the index of that element. Remove method will take the index of that element. Here, in this case, I'm sorry. In list interface, remove method will take the index of the element and it will delete that element. Okay. Remove method will take the index of that element and it will remove that element. It will delete that element. That is how the remove method works here. So how about the remove method of collection interface? Remove method of the collection interface, you'll find that it will take the element itself directly. You have to pass the element itself over there. you have to pass the element itself over there. You need to pass the element. It will take that element and it will remove that element. So main difference is, first of all, collection interface remove method will take the element. If that element is found, it will remove that element. That is what the collection interface method does. And it returns true or false. If that element is, if it is able to successfully remove that element, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay. Just a second. Just a second. Yes, I'm sorry. So that is what the collection interface remove method does. Okay. So it will take that element and removes that element. Now how about the list interface method? So list interface method, you'll find that it will take the index of that element, it will remove that element and returns that element which it is removing. It returns the element which it is removing. That's it. That is how it works. Okay, that's right. Exactly. So let's move on. Next we have index of method. So index of method, what it does is it will take the element. Let's say if you don't know the index of an element, so you can use this method. What it does is it will take the element. You have to pass the element to this index of method and it returns the index of that element. It returns the index of that particular element. So that is how index of method works. That is how index of method works. Okay. So next we have last index. We got last index. Let's see last index. For suppose, let's say we got this element Harry. It is duplicated, let's say. Yes. You see, this element it is at index 0, 0th index, also at index 2. If you call index of method, if you call index of method, and if you pass the element that Harry, that element Harry, so which index will it return? What do you people think? Which index it will return? Yeah, in this case it returns that index 0, I can say. In this case it returns that index 0, I can say. Okay. So if you call index of method, if you want the last occurrence of this element, if you want the last occurrence of this element, then you need to use last index of method. So if you call last index of method here, if you call last index of method names dot last index, and if you pass that element Harry, so this time, so what it should return? Yes, so hope you understood this. Now you tell me what it should return. It should return true. 2. I'm sorry. It should return 2. Okay, fine. So this is about index of and last index of methods. See, it returns 2. Let's move on. We have list iterator. Yes. So we have used iterator interface, right? So what is the purpose of iterator interface? Why did we use it? Iterator is used to read the elements from the collection, right? We can read all the elements from the collection. So that is how we have used iterator. Yes. You see, we have list iterator method which returns list iterator. List iterator is an interface. Let's see how it is associated to iterator. It is associated to iterator, I can say actually. It is associated to iterator. Yes. So list iterator, you see, it extends iterator interface. Yes. Iterator, it is used to read the elements, right? Yes, you can read one by one. Now you will find that here the purpose of list iterator is also same. We can read the elements from the collection using the list iterator. You see, list iterator is a subtype of iterator. It extends iterator itself. List iterator is subtype of iterator. It extends iterator. So list iterator is also used to read the elements from the collection. List iterator is also used to read the elements from the collection. But how it is different from iterator? Can you people tell me how it is different from the iterator? Can you people tell me? Just look at these methods, okay? Just look at these methods and tell me. Okay, list iterator works based on index. That means you have index here, yes. There is one more thing which is important here. Yes, that's right, exactly. You know what? You'll find that using iterator interface, we can only read the elements in one direction. Using iterator interface, we can only read the elements in one direction, that is unidirectional, I can say. So when it comes to list iterator, we can read the elements, or we can move the cursor in both the directions, and we can read the elements in both the directions. So we saw that in the last class that next method, it is used to move the cursor, right? Sorry, has next. Yes, next method will move the cursor. So here we know has next and next. Has next method, what it does, when you call this method, it will check whether there is any element after the cursor. If there is any element after the cursor, it returns true. Next, you have has previous, if you can see this. Has previous method is quite opposite to has next. Okay, so for suppose, let's do this. Now, let's say we'll obtain this iterator, and I will call next method. And you know what happens? So when I call next method, I can say that your cursor is here, where it is before the second element, before the second element. Now, for suppose after calling has next, let's say, sorry, after calling next method, now the cursor position is this, you see, line number 40. Let's say if I call has next method, if I call has next method, it will return true, right? Because there is an element after the cursor. Okay, fine. For suppose you see before I call the next method, so where will be the position of the cursor? Before the first element, right? This is the position of the cursor before calling next method. Okay. Now if I call iterators method, sorry, let me obtain list iterator here. I'll call list iterator. Now you see, if I call has previous method, so before calling the next method, let's say we'll call has previous method. Now, what do people think? What it returns, true or false? It should return false. Yes. So why it returns false? Because you see the has next method, it is quite opposite to has, sorry, has previous is quite opposite to has next. So if you call has previous method, it will check whether there is any element before the cursor. As of now, there is no element before the cursor, so it returns false. There is no element before the cursor, so it returns false. Okay, hope you people got it. Now, let's say if the cursor is here, let's say the cursor is here, that is after calling next. I will call previous method. I will call previous method. Now, previous method, carefully listen to me. It is quite opposite to next method. So, can you people tell me what happens if I call previous method? What it will do? No, previous method. Actually, it's not has previous method. It is quite opposite to next method. Okay, previous method will return Harry. So that means the element which you have before the element which is the before the cursor. As of now, before the cursor, this is your cursor, and this is the element which will be written. And what happens to this cursor? So it will be placed or it will be moved. The cursor is also moved and it will be placed before the first element here. It returns the element, previous element. That means the element which is placed before the cursor, and also the placement of the cursor, it will be moved or it will be placed before the element which is written here. That's it. That is what happens. Yes. So hope you people got it. Yes. Okay. So this way you have methods to move in both the directions. You can traverse through the collections in forward direction as well as in backward direction. Okay. So has previous, it is quite opposite to has next. And the previous method is opposite to next method. That's it. And additionally, you will find that here we have this methods like next index. So what next index method does, if you call it, for example, if this is the case here, the cursor is placed before the first element. If you call next index method, it returns 0. It should return 0. If you call next index method, it should return 0. Yes. Okay, it returns 0. 0. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Now I will not call next method. Okay. So we are calling has previous and then we'll call previous method. Okay. Now the cursor is placed before the first element, right? Let's see. So it says exception. No such element. You'll get an exception that there is no such element. And the rest of the methods I want you to explore. You see, while traversing through the collection, you can also add the elements. You can check this. Okay. Okay. Welcome. Let's move on. Let's go back to this list method. Sorry, list interface. There is one more overloaded list method. I want you to check this. And we have sublist. Sublist method is actually used to read part of a collection. If you want to read a part of a collection, then you can use this sublist method here. Okay, you can use sublist method. So for example, let's say I would like to read the elements from index 1 till index 3, till index 3. Not reading in the sense, I can say I want I, I want those elements. So you can call sublist method and pass index 1, and you want to read the elements till 3, right? So you have to pass the index till 4 plus 1 index additionally. That's it. So you'll get a list here now. So you are reading part of a collection. We are reading part of a collection here. Okay. Yes. Let's read the elements. We'll read part of the collection. Let me run this code. This is what happens. Okay. So this is sublist. Split iterator again is Java 8. That is a little different. We'll talk about it later. So now I have a question for you people. My question is, I have a question for you people. My question is, there is something common between all these collections. So what is common here between all these collections? Sorry, between these methods. So if we keenly observe, if we keenly observe, if we keenly observe, there is something common between all these methods. All are abstract, okay? Anything else you can say about this? There is something common between all these methods. No, not access modifiers. Functionality wise, I can say Yes, that's right. Index. You'll find that the index of index is very common for all these methods. Index is common for all these methods. That means most of the methods here I can say that they are indexed based operations. Most of the methods they are actually indexed based operations here. Indexed based operations. Indexed based operations. You see, for example, if you check this get method, it takes an element and it returns the index of that element. Yes. It returns the index of that element. Yes. It returns the index of that element. That is what it does. Okay. Similarly, set method, you see, it takes an index. Add method takes an index. Remove method takes an index. Index of method returns an index. So this way, almost all the methods are basically index-based operations itself, right? Yes. So that is something special about this methods. Okay, you won't find such methods in list interface. Sorry, collection interface. Collection interface methods, they're not index-based operations. Collection interface methods are not index-based operations, you can say. So hope you people got it. So anyone got any questions, issues in this regard, please let me know. So hope everyone got it. Fine. So next we'll move on. Now we saw the list interface methods. Now you know that they provide some additional methods for us so that we can operate on these collections. So we can work with these collections, right? Yes. Now you have lot of methods. You see, the collection API is providing lot of methods which we can make use of to work with the collections. Okay. Now we'll see the collection classes here which implement this list interface. Like we have array list. So array list is one of the collection classes which implements list interface. Array list is one of the collection classes which implements list interface. Okay. You know, array list class internally it implements or it uses list data structure, or we say array list data structure. So let's go through this list or array list data structure. You see, on top we have that array list data structure. Okay. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yes, sorry. So you see, the elements in the array list are stored based on the index. So each element will be at a specified index. See, for example, if you have elements, 100 elements in this array list, if you got 100 elements in this array list, then you will find that you see the indexes will be from 0 to 99. That is how it works. Indexes will be from 0 to 99. Yes. You know, array list data structure, it supports array list data structure. It supports random access. You know, it supports random access. Random access. What does that means? Random access means random access means we can use any particular element at any indexer. Okay. Yes, you know, given the index of an element, okay, I got some answers. Let me read it out. Yes, you're taking such pain to type the answers. I'm happy. So no sequence access. Okay, based on index, it can use any element. Okay, we can access an element at any index of our wish instead of sequentially going from starting. Yes. So given the index of the element, given the index of that element, you'll find that here we can access the element here. Yes, given the index of the element, you'll find that we can access that element. Straight away we can browse to that element and you'll be able to access that element here. Yes. That is random access. Okay, directly we can just access that element given the index of that element, I can say. Fine. So that is how array list works. You see, our class, okay, don't get confused with the class name and data structure. Don't get confused with the class name and data structure. You'll find that you have an array list data structure which implements which implements which is implemented by our collection class array list. Our collection class array list, it implements array list data structure. Okay, our collection class array list, it implements array list data structure. Okay, that means if you add the elements to this array list data structure, you will find that the elements are stored into, if you add the elements to array list collection object, if you add the elements to array list collection object, they will be added to array list data structure internally. So you see, you can use this array list class. You can use array list class. You can use array list class here. Okay. You see, this is the collection class which implements list interface. I can say that this list interface, list collection class, array list collection class, it implements list interface and indirectly implements collection interface. I can say indirectly it implements collection interface also. Okay, yes. Okay, now just now we have gone through the set and add methods. So add method, you see, that we can add an element at a specified index. We can add an element at a specified index. Yes. But add method, what it does, it will retain the existing element and it will retain the existing element, and what it does, it will move the existing element to the next index. It will move the existing element to the next index. I can say that this operation, sometimes it can be an overhead. How? For example, let's say you have 100 elements. That means the indexes will be from 0 through 99, right? For suppose if you are supposed to add an element at index 1, if you are supposed to add an element at index 1. So in that case, you see how many elements are we supposed to move? If you use add method to add an element at index 1, already there are elements from 0 to 99 indexes. So if we are supposed to add an element at index 1, then how many elements we are supposed to move in that case? How many elements we are supposed to move? 99 elements are supposed, we have to move 99 elements here. Yes. We have to move 99 elements. Yes. Right? So can I say that this is an overhead here? Can I say that this is an overhead? Of course, this is an overhead, right? Yes. So it is going to be an overhead. Yes. So that is one of the limitations I can say with the array list data structure. Yes. Okay. This is about array list data structure. Just remember these points. So worst case scenario, so if you are adding an element at the beginning of the index using add method, which is the second add method I'm talking about, list interface add method, then there is a overhead. Just remember these points. So we have to talk about the other methods also. So we'll see that. Yes. Uh, yes, Sai Surya. Yes. What's the issue? Can you tell me? Oh, okay, okay, fine. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see the other methods also. So other collection classes also and what data structures they implement. Now hope you understood that you see there are several advantages of using this collection API. So first of all, what is the purpose of collection API? So collection API is used to handle a collection of objects, a group of objects I can say, right? So collection API is used to handle a collection of objects or a group of objects. So collection API provides methods, and I can say that here those methods are also very standardized methods. Alright, I can say that those methods are standardized. Yes, those methods are standardized. Yes. Okay, how they are standardized, you see, you'll find that all the collection classes they implement the same set of methods. All the collection classes basically they're implementing the same set of methods, right? Yes. So all the collection classes basically they implement the same set of methods. Right? So as a developer now, it would be easy for us to use all these methods, right? So you got some common set of methods which are implemented by all the collection classes here, I can say. Yes, you got some common set of methods which are implemented by all the collection classes. Yes. So hope everyone got it. So through that collection interface, list interface, and set interfaces, so Java people have made sure that so you have some common set of methods. Though we have different collection classes, all the collection classes they implement set of common methods. So that is how the design of the API is. Okay, so we'll discuss more about it, but we'll do it in the next session. So shall we meet tomorrow morning, or you want to meet on Sunday morning? You tell me. I'll give the choice, but I'll go with majority. Sunday morning or Saturday morning, a long session. Okay, let me see how many of you say Saturday. So let me count. Sunday, I'll count Sunday first. One, two, three, four. Okay, Saturdays. One, two, three, four. Again, I got equal number of counts, I guess. Am I right? Okay. Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's meet tomorrow itself for you people, Saturday. And anyways, you can take a break on Sunday, full day. Okay. Yes. Fine. So let's meet tomorrow then at our regular time. And can someone just send a message in WhatsApp to everyone that we have a class tomorrow at our regular time. Okay, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, which is 7 p.m. Indian time. So thank you all. Bye bye.